today I'm going to go through 3 different ways that you can organise your to-dos alongside your knowledge base in your Protolyst workspace. So let's jump in. So here I am in a new workspace, and the first way that I'm going to go through setting up your to-dos is by using a bullet pointed list. So if we go to add a new page using the plus button at the top of your sidebar and then choose this text editor option, I'm going to give it the title to-dos, and I can jump into this text section. I can use a minus and a space and it will automatically create a bullet point for me. And I can type in all of the to-dos that I have on my mind. And I can highlight this text and change the type of the bullet points to have a checkbox next to them. And so as I then work through that to-do list and can cross them off, I can use this checkbox to tick them as and when they're complete. And so this quick checkbox list might be useful for you if you use a daily note or something similar to capture all of the thoughts that you have while you're working, or to plan out your day with a list of actions. And you can open this up in split screen by control clicking on the other page that you want to have open in split screen. And then you can close these properties bars, so you could have your kind of daily note to-do list down one side of the page and be building and using your Protolyst workspace on the other side. To close split screen, you use this cross button in the top right of either page. The second way that you can organize your to-dos is using a table. So let's set one of those up. Again, using the add page button at the top of the sidebar, this time choosing the table type for the page. I'm going to give this a title to-do table. And so each row of your table can be a separate to-do. And what I'm also going to do is remove this atoms property and then change this subpage property to a checkbox. And then I can use the checkbox to determine whether I have or haven't completed any particular task. So if I add a couple of those in, then I've got a to-do list table here with the checkbox for me to say whether it has been completed or not. Now in a table, you also have all the other property types that are available in tables to help you with organizing your to-dos. So I could set up a tags property and have whether it is work or personal. I could also add a due date property. And I could also make use of other property types in the table to determine the urgency or priority of the different tasks that are in this list. And by adding these different properties, it means you can organize and sort your list of to-dos so that you can have them in a particular order. Then I can add a sort to organize them by the date in which they're due by using the sort option at the top of the table, choosing from the different properties in the list, and then selecting from the drop-down options to set up how I want this information to be filtered. So I now have all of my to-dos in the order of due date. So in addition to being able to organize your task list using the different properties in a table, you can also add tasks when you create atoms. So if as you're going about some kind of project, you're taking some notes, when I'm going through planning stage for project A, I come up with some actions that I kind of bullet point or add into the page. I can capture it as an atom, highlight the text, click the capture atom button, and in the linking bar above the atom text, you can link pages as well as add new ones. So I could add a new page into my to-do lists table with a task that relates to this atom. So if I were to do invite collaborators as the task, I can do add it as a new page, and then I can choose the location of that page to be in my to-do table and then add the page. So this atom is now connected to that task, so I can always jump back to this page where that atom is. And if I go to the to-do table, you will see that that new task has been added into my table here. And if I were to add an atoms property, I will be able to see any of the atoms that have been linked to this page. As you're going through and adding in tasks, you can also use atoms and connect bits of information into your tasks to give yourself more context and have all of that info that you might need to complete the task to hand here in your to-do list. And you can always jump back to the original source of that atom by clicking the source tag. It will open in split screen so that you don't lose your place within the page that you are currently on, and you can see any further context around that atom. And so the third way to organize to-dos in Protolyst is using a master table, so that you have a master list of all of the to-dos pulled together from all of the different projects that you might have going on within one workspace. And so we can do that by making use of table views and embedding this master table into the different project pages that you might have within your workspace. So if we jump back to that project A, we can set this page up a bit like a dashboard for the project. So what I can do here is go to add a section into this page, and I can link a page, and I can link this to my to-do table. And then if I hover over this one, because it's a table, I can choose this View Table as Embed option. If I click that, it will expand the table in this page. Within Project A, I can see a list of my to-dos by having that embed of the to-do table. And I can jump back to the full table by clicking this icon. And what I can also do is set this up to create a particular view. So I could create a new view and call it Project A. And I will swap to that view. And what I can then do is set up the properties, filters, and sorts to display a particular view just for this project. So in this Project A view, I'm going to add another property into the table such that I can then set up the view to only display the to-dos that are related to Project A. So there are a few different properties that you could use. I'm going to show you how to do it with a single select. So I'm going to add a new property, move to the single select option, give it the title Project, and then I'm going to create a new option, Project A. Cool. So I've assigned Project A to the invite collaborators to do. I'm going to leave the others blank. So if I now go to set up a filter for this table, I can add a filter, select from the different property types. I'm going to choose Project, and then using the drop downs, I can set up the logic to just display the to-dos that have Project A. So I'm going to do is equal to Project A. I can only see this invite collaborators task because it was the only task within this table that was set to Project A. And so as I add new rows, it will automatically populate with Project A. So I could hide this property, but every to-do that I added within this Project A dashboard area, where I have this Project A view of the table, will be assigned to Project A. So I could hide that property by going to the Properties menu and turning off this Project Select. So if I was to say, we might have like a arrange the kickoff call. It displays here. When I jump to my to-do table, it's got the Project A view, but if I jump back to the kind of master view, it will show me all of those tasks that I added, and I could also turn that project property back on, and I can see all of the projects there. Using the table properties and the filters and the sorts, and embedding different views of the table, you can have one master to-do list that you add different to-dos into from the different projects that you might have going on in your workspace. So hopefully that gives you some inspiration and tips for building workflows and using your Protolyst workspace.